Huge news. Just like John Mayer, I'm still waiting for the world to change, aka I'm still waiting for Aatu Räty to be that guy. That being said, I think the Canucks already think he is that guy. And oh yeah, Trevor Beggs hates teddy bears. Let's do this. Locked On Canucks.
The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You know, Kyle, for the record, I still hug my teddy bear after every Vancouver Canucks loss, and I'm sure you do the same. Welcome to another episode of Locked On Canucks. I'm Trevor Beggs. That guy is Kyle Bowen, and we're in October, baby, and that means we're one day closer to Canucks regular season hockey. But Kyle, this team's got to make some pretty big decisions before then. Like, there's questions at center. There's questions on the wings. There's questions on defense. And Thatcher Demko's not at practice. Oh, my God, there's questions everywhere. But let's talk about some of those key roster battles today. And Kyle, I think one of the most fascinating players for me to figure out what to do is Aatu Räty, right? Because we're all giving this guy the third line center role before training camp even begins. Look at the 5 goals in 12 games to end the season. Look at the shot. Look at all these faceoffs he wins. They didn't get a center. This guy's going to be the guy. Now he might be replaced by an 18-year-old kid. Look, Aatu Räty for me is one of the most fascinating players to keep an eye on as camp winds down. Will he even play tonight against the Calgary Flames? But Kyle, I'm curious your thoughts on him, because I get the feeling this guy could be the next Pius Suter in the sense that he could be the next Swiss Army knife for your Vancouver Canucks.
Wow. And I get the sense that the coaching staff, based on what we saw yesterday, with the practice lineup is, like this coaching staff is ready to possibly replace Teddy Blueger, right? Like if Coots is replacing Aatu Räty, then Räty is replacing Blueger, which is surprising. It really is. I didn't see that coming because based on what I've been hearing, he hasn't been super, super, super special in training camp. But, guys like Trevor Beggs, giving him the kudos when it comes to his hard work. And I wonder if that's what's gotten the hearts of the coaching staff. Like they want to give the young guy a chance based on his effort level and allow him to, I wouldn't say get his feet wet because he's already had the NHL experience, but just get his legs in motion based on him having a disadvantage in the offseason with his injury and whatnot. Because for me, it's like that was going to be a disadvantage and that was going to hold him out of the lineup. That was going to possibly put him on waivers. I don't know, like a 1% chance. I don't know. Because Coots was doing his thing and Räty was, again, apparently invisible. But man, oh man, why do you think the Canucks coaching staff is willing to, I would say, give him the ropes over the next 2 preseason games and make them have a tough decision, a.k.a. maybe kick Teddy Blueger off this team?
Yeah, I mean, you're making the upside bet with Aatu Räty, and I think the argument would be that he's a better skater, he's more dangerous offensively, and he's better in the faceoff circle, but he just doesn't have that steadying veteran presence that Teddy Blueger does.
He's a better skater than Teddy Blueger, you think?
I would say so, yeah. I like Teddy Blueger is not a fantastic skater. I think he just knows where to be on the ice at the right time, right? That typical veteran mentality. I bet if there was a foot race, I do think Aatu Räty would probably beat Teddy Blueger, but it'd be a close call. But again, I think it is going to be a fascinating choice for the Canucks, and I think they would be wise to try to find a way to get Aatu Räty into this lineup. And I think it could be on the wing, to be honest.
Whoa.
Because again, you saw the shot that he released against the Oilers on Sunday night. Like, this guy has an NHL ready shot. He can kill penalties for this team. In fact, he was practicing with Archie Baines on the penalty kill at Canucks practice. I might add, Teddy Blueger was still on the first penalty killing unit with Drew O'Connor at practice. So for the penalty killing reason, I still think Teddy Blueger is going to be the guy in the opening night lineup. All I wanted to say yesterday, and every day is, if you haven't checked out the show, every day is only the show from yesterday, but if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. All I was saying is that Aatu Räty has a chance to bump Teddy Blueger out, which no one else was saying. But I also think he could play the wing. I mean, look, we're going to go into a preseason game tonight with likely Archie Baines playing wing with Philip Hedl and Connor Garland. And you know me, I'm not going to bet against the Surrey boy making the roster. This is Surrey's Canucks show after all. But Aatu Räty could be a winger for this team too. If they're gung-ho on getting Braden Cooch NHL games and gung-ho about Teddy Blueger being on this team to be a first-unit penalty killer, don't be surprised if Aatu Räty starts the season on the wing for the Vancouver Canucks.
Wow, that's interesting. That's cool. That's the Canucks banking on him being better than Linus Karlsson or R.C.
Baines, or even Drew O'Connor to an extent.
Exactly. So, Trevor, let me ask you this, because again, I feel like you've had Ratu's back more so than other guys. Like maybe you've been honest about him not being impressive. Then I've heard other reporters like Jeff Patterson say, he'll never be special. Like he's never going to quote unquote stand out. But one thing that you alluded to was, again, his work ethic. Like you kept harpooning on that and loving that and appreciating that. And if that's the base level where because I like guys like that on my team, like work your effing ass off, and especially in practice, that's the type of culture you're trying to build. And a guy like Aatu, if he's one of the hardest working guys at practice, that's cool. You need a bunch of those guys, in my opinion, for real. And now this Pius Suter comparison, it's making me think about a lot of things. All in all, outside of the faceoffs, outside of like his shot and his work ethic, I know we just said that, maybe he'll never be a special player. He'll never stand out. Like, what other things do make him, I don't know, for lack of a better word, special? Because this guy did have some pedigree before he got drafted. And look at what he did at the end of last year. Like, what worked for him at the end of last year? And all in all, like, could this really, really work for the Vancouver Canucks? Could he be somewhat of an X factor still, even with the quiet camp?
I think there's a chance for him. And it's funny because I don't know if there's one standout trait necessarily, although if there's one standout trait, it's probably the fact that he's so damn good in the faceoff dot and can switch sides. I mean, that's incredible, man. There's not a lot of guys doing that. But I think for me, it's that mix of, physicality and playmaking ability. I don't want to say he's a great playmaker, but he's got a great shot and he can find teammates out there, right? This guy, I do think the playmaking skills are NHL caliber, but he's physical, man. I think that's part of the equation here too, is that we saw him at the end of last season on that line with Dakota Joshua and Kiefer Sherwood. That line was a ton of fun to watch because they were getting in on the forecheck. They were being physical. They were creating opportunities. They were scoring at the end of the season there too. And again, they were doing that with Räty playing center down the middle. Sometimes on the wing, it even frees you up to be even a little bit more physical, be a bit more of a bulldog out there. So that could benefit Räty as well. I mean, look, this team has been gung-ho to play him at center, even though there's some in this market saying that, maybe he should play wing. This team was gung-ho to play him at center because look at the center depth on this team. It's not great. In fact, it's so not great that we have a kid that might born in 2007 that might be playing center for your Canucks on opening night.
He was born in 2007.
He was born in February of 2007. Kyle, I think I was experimenting with recreational drugs.
Okay,
Whoa. Okay, all right.
Come on, dude. All right, you're a big J journo now. Great. In 2007, I was in grade 8, I guess. That was the beginning of grade 8, and yeah, my eyes opened up for the first time. All in all, interesting player, and I know they were doing a lot of experimental things yesterday in practice. I mean, there was even points where like Coots wasn't like a what would you call it, everydayer, or like on a prominent line before him and Leck and Kane all wore the same jerseys. And same goes with Blueger. Like he was taking penalty killing unit shifts, as you alluded to, but he was skating on a quote unquote fifth line. Like we don't know what really is going to happen, but I do think, based on my gut, and I think you got into my head because you hate teddy bears and you started starting this propaganda, that there's still a small chance. Like, remember Jim Rutherford on that interview with Darren Dreger? Like he said, like veteran players have to work for jobs in regards to the 3 forward spots that were available or the 3 defensive spots that were available, for real. And I thought it was Drew O'Connor, but maybe it is Teddy Blueger. So we'll see what Aatu Räty does here with this opportunity. And I wouldn't be surprised if he seizes it. Like he takes the next step in his training camp / preseason regimen ASAP. Like the games tonight, right? The preseason games tonight. Like what if he plays twice as good as he has at any point in this camp? It wouldn't surprise me. He has a bit of pedigree, and that would even make the decision even tougher in regards to Teddy Bluger and company. But I do like the whole winger talk. I do like the winger talk. Like, if the Canucks believe he's way better than Linus Karlsson and way better than Archie Bains, and that hurts to say because, Surrey, one love to Surrey. But all in all, like, A, we're looking for players with higher ceiling, and B, I like the Pio Suter comparison too, because I could see that. Suter and Aatu Räty, I don't know if I'm doing a disservice to Pio Suter by saying this, but I could see Aatu Räty getting to that level of player within the next 2 years. For real. For real. A lot of work to do, but hey, with NHL experience and some confidence, he could definitely get there. Now, Trevor, who else? Who else is like battling for a roster spot? Like, what else you got on the docket? Like, what else you got on the mind? Because you threw me into a blender here. My mind's all over the place because Aatu Räty on the wing is tripping me out, but it makes a lot of sense.
Oh man, I do. There's lots of roster battles going on, Kyle. But now might be a good time to cut to a break. Let's tease it and get to it on the other side. Kyle, hit the button, baby. My screen's frozen.
Okay.
You're listening to Locked On Canucks. All right, before we get back to the battles, baby, are you battling with your finances? Well, cut that crap out and go check out Monarch Money, okay? Monarch Money, it's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives, like podcasters like me and Kyle Bowen, and probably you as well. If you've been putting off organizing your finances, Monarch is here for you. Monarch will do the heavy lifting for you, okay? So you can sit back, relax, and scratch your sack. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, and get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money, baby. And you don't even have to touch one of those things called a spreadsheet. So don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off of your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDON. NHL.
Okay, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks. Kyle Bowen, Trevor Beggs. Trevor Beggs, you still experimenting or experiencing technical difficulties? You good now?
Was I experiencing difficulties before?
No, you said your computer froze. I don't know if you just did all that.
I was just trying to hit the buttons here, man. The buttons are frozen for me, man. But as long as you can hear me, it's all good.
Trevor, I know you're a big J journo and you get to work from home and stuff, and you have all this recreational time. And maybe it's been a while since you've been able to use the internet freely at home around 12 o'clock. But please, Trevor, like, you're 32 and a half years old. Please don't be watching what I think you're watching that's freezing up your brand new computer, because you just got this computer a couple weeks ago and now it's lagging. Trevor, trust me, I like using the speakers too once in a while when, you have your alone time. But Trevor, just, hey, you know what? Comments. Look at Bobby Bluger saying Teddy Bluger will have a career year with or without Garland. And Bobby Bluger, again, uncle of Teddy Bluger. Again, this is like the number 27 Canucks show in the world. Obviously, we're going to have some celebrity status every once in a while when it comes to the listenership. He's also saying that Teddy Bluger, will get some Selke votes this year. And I know he's joking on that, but, Bob Bluger has been a big Teddy guy for a while. I have as well. And Trevor, I want to bring this up. I think talking about kicking Teddy Bluger off the team is scary business because this team's kind of young. And I was thinking about this yesterday on my drive home because I'm just snorting the Vancouver Canucks all the time. I'm just addicted. Like, who's taking Braden Coots out for dinner? You know what I'm saying? Like, who's showing them the ropes? Do you want that guy to only be a Vander Kane? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it like Teddy Bluger a good teammate? And when Patrick Allvin signed him a couple years ago, it's because they needed players that were really good at practicing, like being good pros. And I don't know, like, I want Teddy Bluger to still be here. Like, he's not just versatile and not just, in my opinion, like 79 to 81 overall. Like this team kind of needs that leadership, no?
Yeah, they absolutely do. And hopefully Braden Coots has seen more of Vancouver than just Pierre's, right? But I mean, look, he's name checked Kiefer Sherwood as a guy who's really taken him under his wing. He's name checked Petey and Brock too, which I think is important because those guys
Oh,
are supposed to be leaders on the team. So yeah, I mean, those are the guys who, from what we've heard, are the ones leading him around. And yeah, you do. I know Vander Kane is a longtime NHL veteran. I'm sure he's taught him a thing or two as well. But yeah, certainly Braden Coots has been the most fascinating story of Canucks camp so far. But of course, there's some pretty big battles on the wing setting up right now too. So Kyle, just kind of looking at the rest of the bubble guys here. You're looking at Archdeep Baines, Linus Karlsson, Jonathan Lecker-Mackey, Max Hassan, Nils Amon, and Vitaly Kravtsov. No, I think those last three guys are pretty firmly on the cut list, right? I think Max Hassan, I've said it before, like I think he's one of the fastest players out on the ice, which bodes well for him, but hasn't been great in the face-off dot. Played some wing in the Edmonton game, which I don't think bodes well for him either. I think the organization prefers him at center. For Amon, he's just been Nils Amon, best looking player in the NHL, but probably not one of the best 23 Canucks on this team. Vitaly Kravtsov hasn't done enough to usurp the other guys, but I think it really does come down to the opening night roster of like Aatu, Baines, Karlsson, and Lecker-Mackey on the wings there.
yeah.
And yeah, I Kyle, right now, I would believe it's probably going to be Aatu and Lecker-Mackey that make the opening night lineup on the wing for your Vancouver Canucks. And
Yeah.
I hate saying that to the Surrey boy Archdeep Baines. 2 preseason games to go. Prove me wrong, but I just think Aatu and Lecker-Mackey have a higher upside than Baines and Karlsson, despite the fact that Baines and Karlsson are, of course, great stories after what they did last year in Abbotsford.
Yeah, and again, RC Baines playing in the top 6. I'm assuming tonight. The game's in Calgary, right? I'm still in preseason mode.
The game's in Calgary. Yep,
Yeah,
correct.
so that's cool, and Archdeep's gonna get his chance. But now I'm thinking. I mean, this kind of makes sense to me. Speaking out loud, again, Trevor just threw everything into a loophole here. You best be writing about this on Daily Hive, man. This is a good idea because Aatu on the wing, it gives them the extra forward. Maybe in game if like Braden Coots is overwhelmed, you got Aatu there to take draws and whatnot, and also Filipino and Aatu Räty, could they be a thing? Honestly, like, would that help that line have more defensive prowess? Maybe. Now, I know Rachu's not like the most incredible playmaker, and obviously Filipino, he's accused of not being that guy too, which I doubt. Like, I think he's a lot better offensively all around than we think. I mean, people give him credit for having speed and attacking and shooting, but I do believe he can pass the puck. Okay, just give him the confidence. He's going to make everyone a better around him. That guy's giving me good vibes. All in all, though, if it is like Aatu and Lecker-Mackey, like I wonder which one of those guys have a better chance of sticking with Filipino.
I think it's probably Jonathan Lecker-Mackey, to be honest. Just because I do think Filipino, for one, is pretty good in the faceoff dot, right? Like 50% guy, he can handle his own there. And I think for the second line, you want the higher upside guy up there. And Aatu Räty can pretty easily play up and down your lineup. Jonathan Lecker-Mackey, I think it's fair to call him a top 6 or bust kind of guy, right? You don't really want Jonathan Lecker-Mackey on your third line, especially not your fourth line, right? Like, you don't want to spoon feed him minutes he's not ready for, but that's a guy you want on one of your top 2 lines to create offense. And the fact that Hedel and Lecker-Mackey, I think, showcased some chemistry too in the last preseason game as well. I think that bodes well for Lecker-Mackey. But look, of any of the Canucks young players, Lecker-Mackey has the highest upside offensively. I don't even think it's that close, to be honest.
It isn't.
So you want Jonathan Lecker-Mackey playing on your second line. And if it comes down to those two, it's going to be Lecker-Mackey. Could both of them play there? You're sort of looking at a lineup that like might have like Kane or Garland on your third or fourth lines, right? So that's when it starts to become a bit. I wouldn't quite be so sure about that, but I think Lecker-Mackey and Hedel could be a pretty fascinating duo.
Yeah,
if Mackey can continue showing what he showed us over the last couple of preseason games.
I think he is. And I don't know, like you also did say something there, like, oh, Lecker-Mackey, he can't play in your third line. But then what is Braden Coots and Evander Kane? Like, what is that line? Because they've been using that a lot. They've been using that a lot. Like, what is that?
Yeah, I think they just want a veteran with Braden Coots, right? Like Coots has pretty much been with either Kane or Sherwood or both throughout the preseason, right? I mean, Baines was there for parts of training camp. Sherwood was obviously there in some preseason games. Like Kane was there at practice the other day. I think they want one of those veterans on his line, right? Which makes sense, right? You want to insulate a guy as young as Coots with a veteran. I mean, we're talking about a dude who might be the youngest player, Kyle, in 35 years to suit up for the Vancouver Canucks. Should I hit the Trevor's trivia? But I'm not going to hit it. Do you know who I'm talking about here?
Do it, hit it. Let's go.
Okay, let's go, man. Let's go. Yeah, I'll frame it. I'll frame it this way for you, man. You got to hit the button because I'm frozen on that side.
Okay, let's do Trevor's trivia. Who's the youngest player to ever suit up for the Canucks within the last 35 years? Here on Locked On Canucks.
Trevor's trivia starts now.
35 years. So let me do the math. Damn, we're getting old. So that's only what? Like, is that nine? No, that's 1990.
1990. It was in 1990. The last 18-year-old to suit up for the Vancouver Canucks.
I was still a swimmer. I don't know. 1990. Who's the youngest? Trevor Linden? No, Trevor Linden was 19.
He was 2 years before that.
Yeah. 19, dude, 18 years old. Is he like a prominent player?
Yeah, pretty well known.
Cliff Ron? No, Cliff Roning's not. No. He got traded here.
Peter Nedved. Peter Nedved.
There you go. Peter Nedved, the guy that we took before Jaromir Jagr.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, there you go. Famous for that one reason. So, I mean, look, Coots is going to do something that's pretty remarkable if he does make this team out of camp. Only 4 guys in Vancouver Canucks history have scored a goal at the age of 18 years, and that is Jim Sandlack, Trevor Linden, Cam Neely, and Peter Nedved. Only 4 players to ever score a goal at 18 for your Vancouver Canucks. So, Brendan Coots, again, can make this team and even score a goal. He'd be joining some pretty rarefied company in Vancouver Canucks history. But, yeah, in terms of the winger battle, again, I think my prediction right now is Aatu and Räty are wingers on opening night, and Baines and Carlson make the team, but sit as your 13th and 14th forward.
Then can you go through your projected lineup? I just want a mental image of this, like go line by line.
Yeah, I haven't laid out a firm lineup, but I'll kind of go off the top of my head here. Let's see if I can get this. The Canucks want to make DeBrusk, Pettersson, and Besser a thing. And then in your second line, let's go Kane, Hedl, and Lecker-Mackey. Third line of Bluger, Garland, and O'Connor. And fourth line of Coots, Sherwood, and Aatu, I guess. And I was off the dome.
I like that. I don't mind that. Coots, Aatu, and Sherwood. That could work. And again, Canucks fans, like, don't be surprised, because again, I've been saying this: the top 6. There's not a lot of chemistry there. We don't know what's going to happen in the next 120 minutes of fake hockey, but I would not still be surprised if Sherwood gets some top 6 time, based on his speed or whatever and his tenacity and some of the chemistry he showed with Elias early on. Anyways, let's read one comment and get to the other side. Again, you're listening to Locked On Canucks. I wanted to bring up this comment before we got to the last segment where we're going to talk about Luke Hughes and what that contract means for Quinn Hughes, because there is somewhat of a connection, like it or not. But look at this comment from Rolland, okay, saying Coots versus Kadri will be a good test. I'm assuming Coots will play tonight. I guess they got to see what he has left. They're going to really test him, make him play all the preseason games. And don't get me wrong, at a younger age, Nazem Kadri was more offensively talented than Braden Coots is right now. He had that pedigree. That's what made him a top 5, top 6 pick. One love to the Lebanese prince. Nazem Kadri, one of my favorite players. He wrote an incredible hockey book too. Go find it on Audible or Spotify if you don't want to buy it. Such a good book. He reads it too. He has such a sick voice. Again, Nazem Kadri's a legend. All in all, though, I like the comp too, man. Down the road, Nazem Kadri, Braden Coots, if Coots can improve on his dangling, I don't know, this could be a good comp in general. I know Rolland's not bringing up he's bringing up the competition as opposed to the comparison, but Nazem Kadri, Braden Coots, I'd love that, man.
Yeah, for sure. And Nazem Kadri obviously got a little disrespected in Toronto. Point of game player early in his career and then kind of dipped statistically, but man, oh man, what a stud out there. And make Colorado.
But Trevor, just because I read the book reader, not to interrupt you, but I got to spit the facts. The big reason why he got traded is because Toronto was wrong on Tyson Barrie, and and also Benning didn't trade for Tyson Barrie. But it was this. Nazem Kadri kept getting suspended in the playoffs, and in fact, Canuck Connection.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he almost killed Jake DeBrusk.
Yeah, that's true. I remember that. I mean, it kind of dumb, short-sighted reasons for trading a guy of Nazem Kadri's caliber. But yeah, that's good on the Toronto Maple Leafs for making bad decisions. I'm always glad when other teams, especially teams like Toronto, Edmonton, or Calgary, make bad decisions. Okay, it makes me feel better as a Canucks fan. Speaking of the Vancouver Canucks, let's talk about the defense and some other news related to that D on the other side here on Locked On Canucks. All right, before we hop back into Locked On Canucks, got to shout out our friends over at FanDuel. And man, oh man, if you're feeling lucky on a hump day or any day, make sure you go check out FanDuel because NFL season is here. NHL season is right around the corner. And right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet. Put down $5 buckaroos, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. And man, oh man, the Vancouver Canucks, I've said it before, over under on FanDuel, 89.5 points. I'm not going to lie, I don't bet on the Canucks, but if I did, I'd be smashing the over because come on, man. 90 points last year when everything went wrong. You got to think they're going to get more than that this season. So whatever you're betting on, make sure you do it on FanDuel. What are you waiting for? Go visit FanDuel.com and download the FanDuel app today to get started.
People, we back doing this, talking about your Vancouver Canucks, Kyle Bowen, Trevor Beggs. Do us all a favor, hit the like button. Make Trevor's children proud. Make my girlfriend proud. And, the holidays are coming up. And my 5-year anniversary is when? The end of May of 2026. So that's coming up as well. Why are you laughing? It's called compound interest, Trevor. You start now, you'll have it by then. You taught me that, okay? Mr. Financial Advisor. Anyways, comments here on Locked On Canucks. Smirky McSir saying, as much as I think Coots deserves a spot, he has to go down. We need the defenseman. Smirky, I think you're wrong on this. You're a smart guy. You're actually more right than us, to be honest, based on what I've been reading. But come on, our farm team is in Abbotsford, so you know what I'm saying? Like, Coots is sticking around. If it's like Coots for a defenseman, they're picking Coots.
Yeah, and I think Foote and Alvin have kind of alluded to this already. That is probably going to be one of Willander, DPD, and Mancini that make the opening night lineup. And I think the reasons are simple, right? It's kind of like you said, the farm team's in Abbotsford. Mm-hmm. None of those guys need waivers. You can, recall them and send them back down at will. And as from a sexiness perspective, I think people would rather see, Derek Forbort, he's in the press box and DPD and Mancini are going to play on opening night. But this team likes Forbort as a penalty killer. And quite honestly, he probably deserves to stay in that role until he's proven otherwise, right? Mm-hmm. And it doesn't make sense to have Mancini or DPD sitting in the press box when they can drive, an hour and a half down the highway in traffic. My God, that highway sucks. To go play in Abbotsford, right? So I think it's a fascinating decision, right? And again, one of the most interesting decisions to watch. Tom Willander's going to start in Abbotsford. I like the fact that he's gotten better in preseason, but he's going to start in Abbotsford. Is it going to be DPD or Mancini on opening night? Right now, and this might be unpopular because the city's been getting drunk off Valentino martinis, but I think DPD is going to make this team on opening night. I just think he's got, he's a little bit more steady in his own end, despite the fact that he doesn't have the Valentino Martini like instincts. But I think it's going to be DPD on opening night, but it's still a battle to watch over the next couple of games here.
I think you're wrong. I think it's both Mancini and DPD. I think Forbort's going to sit out because they're playing Calgary, maybe against Edmonton, they put Forbort back in, but I think they're going
to. For opening night, you mean against Calgary?
Yeah, like opening night, right? Like I
think I thought you were talking about the preseason game tonight. You think Forbort's going to sit on opening night and DPD and Mancini are going to be in there? Wow, Kyle Bowen.
I think it's Mancini and DPD going to be paired up together, and then it's DPD and Tyler Myers. I know we've gotten like the Pedersen pair a couple times, but let's say they do want to just like hone in on the lefty righty thing. And part of me like wants to say this, and I kind of read a rebuttal off of your post or that reel that was made with you and Sakaris and Price, where you brought up Valentino Martini on a Sakaris and Price show. Again, Trevor Beggs is doing Locked On Canucks work, spreading the propaganda. We might actually have a nickname for a Canuck player that gets mainstream because of Trevor Beggs. Okay, he's not going to forget about us. He I'm proud of you. Thanks for being our friend, Trevor. But more importantly, like somebody was saying how maybe they should let Mancini not only play, but play his game. Because, I think you were saying that he doesn't have to be Superman. The coaching staff doesn't want him to be Superman. But I'm looking at this team's lack of offense in general, and I'm like, I think we need another offensive defenseman. Like, straight up. And he brings that juice. He pushes the pace. And I don't know. I think I wouldn't say he's close to being a difference maker, but if they give him the rope to do so, the trade-off might be one mistake, but man, oh man, this guy might be like the poor man's JT Miller on defense for us.
Woo, damn. I think the other thing that plays in Mancini's favor too is the fact that, again, he plays the right side, whereas you got to play DPD on his offside. Theoretically, he's going to make the opening night lineup. Again, I do think the turnovers kind of in the neutral zone and in his own end have kind of hurt Mancini here throughout kind of preseason and training camp. DPD, though, he's had a couple turnovers himself. Like, he hasn't been perfect either.
And Philip Hronek, remember that turnover on Friday against Seattle, like 10 seconds into the game? Come on, man.
Yeah, exactly. So I know. I honestly, it's a fascinating decision. I'm torn between the two. I mean, look, what I want to see on opening night, Kyle, like you alluded to, would be Mancini with Marcus Pedersen and DPD with Tyler Myers, sit Derek Forbort. Yeah. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think the Canucks are going to choose between DPD and Mancini, and they're going to send the other guy to the farm along with Tom Melander. But
Trevor, like Mancini and DPD, they both played I feel like they played a lot of games for Vancouver last year.
Yeah, Mancini played 16, DPD played 28. Yeah, so they had some experience up here.
I think that's the direction they're going to go, especially, like, again, they're going to play all, like, that's your six. It's Hughes, Hronek, it's Marcus Pedersen, it's Valentino Martini, Mancini the third, and it's Tyler Myers and DPD, and it's like, we're playing Calgary game one, Like, let's just do it. Anyways, let's go around the world. Let's go around the league, talk about some other things outside of Vancouver before we end today's episode. Thanks so much for listening to Locked On Canucks. All in all, let's do it. Let's run. What the puck?
I thought this was a Canucks show.
I thought this was a Canucks show.
Ito, this WAS a Canucks show.
Okay, this is the part of the show where we don't really talk about the Canucks. Okay, first off, before we get into Luke Hughes, I do want to say I did bump John Mayer. What's that song called again?
Waiting on the world to change. Oh yeah.
I bumped that for 25 minutes straight. Like, kept replaying it. That's what happens when you have ADHD and you love a song and you're driving to work. And I almost cried, man. I almost cried because he was speaking the truth way back in what 2006, 2007, 2003. I don't even know when that song came out. But man, oh man, this guy was a future teller, aka a fortune teller, and that song made me emotional. Trevor, I'm gonna let you talk about that song too, but I want you to guess what other song actually made me cry. I've only cried once listening to a song. I just want you to. I might have already mentioned it on the pod, but I just want to see if you actually listen to me.
I'm thinking "Cry Me a River" by Justin Timberlake.
Come on, dude. You think I'm that traumatized just because my first girlfriend left me for a girl? You think I'm gonna waste tears on her? I went to therapy, Trevor. Come on, Justin. Really?
I just thought you talked about your love for JT on the show. I figured maybe you had some kind of emotional attachment to one of those songs.
No. 50 Cent, I'm the man. Listen to that song, it gets you emotional. When you drive home at 2 a.m, back to your parents' crib at 32 and a half years old, and you listen to that song, you just you need it sometimes. Anyways, Luke Hughes did sign a big deal. 7 years, $9 million. I'm really surprised about how many people are like, oh, they overpaid him, or that's a lot of money. I know he hasn't like maybe reached $9 million status just yet, and he's not like almost always hurt, but he has to, he's dealt with some stuff already in his career. But in the long run, I mean, even if he's just like a number 3 defenseman, that's a damn good deal. And the cap is going up. The Devils' salary cap situation isn't that bad, to be honest, compared to other teams. They're still going to have room to make big swings, aka possibly pay Quinn Hughes $20 million. So, all in all, I don't know about you, but when I woke up to this, I was not happy. No, I was not happy. I was, you know me, I was holding on to he's going to sign for 3 years. They're all going to go to UFA or 4 years or whatever the math was. They'd all become UFAs together. We keep Quinn Hughes longer, but today it seems like it wasn't like the nail in the coffin, but you know, like the nails they're at Home Depot right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the nails are beginning to be nailed in the coffin, although it's not fully nailed shut yet. But yeah, I mean the rumors about Luke Hughes wanting a 5-year deal where the Devils either wanted a bridge or a long-term deal. Look, this deal today wasn't surprising to me, neither in the AAV or the fact that it was a long-term deal. Welcome to the NHL where the salary cap is starting to go up exponentially, right? Like $6.5 million player is now maybe a $9 million player, right? And you know, Luke, and especially when you got like younger guys like Luke Hughes, like you know, Quinn Hughes wasn't perfect defensively too when he was a youngster either, right? So Luke Hughes, that contract is going to age well for the Devils, and yeah, I'm just disappointed that it was a 7-year deal. That's all I can say about that.
It hurt, and I guess we got to end it on this note. And I do want to bring up this conversation. I think some people will get pissed off at us because like it's no good for a guy like Pettersson to consume, assuming that he's still addicted to his phone and has like Google updates whenever anyone drops his name on the internet. But to me, like there's still a 40% chance that Quinn Hughes sticks around, and that's if Elias Pettersson proves that he's a way better player than Jack Hughes and Luke Hughes. And people may gawk at that, but again, like we talked about it on yesterday's episode. In the past, Pettersson has proven that he could find himself amongst the elite of the elite. And again, in my opinion, at his best, he's a better player than Jack Hughes. I don't give a puck. So all in all, Elias Pettersson, he has his own internal battles and his internal triumphs that he needs to, you know, get through and accomplish. But without a doubt, based on JT Miller already being a casualty of something related to Elias Pettersson, bro, the amount of pressure on this guy to get it right and help this team win, knowing that, you know, the fans deserve it and Quinn Hughes needs to see, you know, the light at the end of this Canucks tunnel to begin a new one. It's like crazy because Elias Pettersson, if he doesn't bounce back, Quinn Hughes is gone. And you thought Mark Messier was hated? I'm telling you right now, like this is like monumental pressure on Elias Pettersson to get this right because the fate of the organization, it's in his hands, bro.
Yeah, and everydayers know that. You don't even have to be an everydayer. I think every Canuck fan knows that, but we've been saying that all off season long. Look, I think the task is simple in quotation marks. The Canucks got to be better than the Devils over the next 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And if they are, I think there's a good chance Quinn Hughes stays. And if they're not, bye-bye. Mm-hmm. Now, again, we're in October 2025, October 1st, 2025. I'm going to choose to be optimistic and like what I'm seeing with this Canucks team right now. Again, they have the potential to do great things, but it does hinge on Elias Pettersson. Kyle, I don't know if Pettersson's going to be great, but I always count on you being great here on Locked On Canucks. But the best people are the listeners, okay? We appreciate the hell out of you for tuning into Locked On Canucks. Your Canucks every damn day. If you like what we're doing, go share the episode with a friend. You can like and subscribe on YouTube, on the podcast side. You can follow us. Leave a 5-star review. It really does help us out a lot. Kyle, who knows, man? The post-game show will be coming back soon too, man. Lots of exciting stuff here on Locked On Canucks. Anything you want to say to the people before we get out of here?
Yeah, just be nice to your neighbors. And honestly, just believe Elias Pettersson's going to be back. I believe it. I do want to see 2 goals and 1 assist tonight, though, in a preseason game, okay? Because I don't want to lose my hair, okay?
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.